Okay. Hello, everyone. This is going to be a bit of a different video, but it's what I feel like doing. So that's great. I'm just going to be getting ready, and then we're going to be talking about a studying with eyes topic. This is my cat. Hold on. Hi to the people, Merlolito. Merlolito. Say hi, kitty. Say hi, kitty. I'm a sweet boy. I'm the sweetest boy. And the right Merlolito. Anyways, let me turn off this purple light so that the lighting's not weird in here. And let's get ready. Moving on. I just dug in my eye for a little bit, so if it gets redder by the minute, that is why. We're gonna move on. So this is gonna be kind of like a makeup skincare routine slash studying with ice session. Switch it up, a different vibe this time around. I'm gonna be telling you about some of the stuff that I do and use, but also we're gonna talk shop. And my face is dry, but I'm about to moisturize it. In talk shop, I mean, do what we do best, spirituality. I'm gonna start with this Cetaphil Gentle Clear Mattifying Acne Moisturizer. Normally I use my vitamin C serum, but I'm gonna be wearing this very long, so because I'm okay with wiping it off. The topic, as you can tell, maybe if I do the title right, is actualizing your fears and how it releases you from them. Okay. If we talk about fear in a general sense of the term, we know that it is a protection mechanism, okay? We're not making fear the bad guy here at all, okay? We are simply changing our mindset around its usage. Let's say it that way. So there are a number of ways that fear helps us in life. Okay, we're not making fear the bad guy here. Fear is wonderful at helping us become aware of our surroundings. Fear is wonderful at warning us about things that we might not necessarily be completely aware of all the time. Fear is great at telling us, honestly, in my experience, the thing to do when you're aligned. So fear looks different when you're in aligned mindset or energy versus when you are in an unaligned, honestly, fear-based mindset. And again, this is going to be based on my personal experience because that's what I got to go off of. My experience and just what I've learned through life from those around me. I'm a very observant person. And honestly, I could write a book about the shit that I know just off observation alone. Hopefully, this isn't making too much noise. Let me move it. So, fear is wonderful at doing those things. The energy of fear definitely ramps up your body, right? We got adrenaline, certain things going on in our body when, depending on the level and state of fear. And you can replace this with anxiety too, because anxiety is just a baby form of fear, like a pre full fear. This is going to be so janky because I've never used my camera to do my makeup before. Let's talk about how the world has changed since, like, let's just talk about it from a biological sense, okay? We're not living in the forest and trees anymore, y'all. We're in the concrete jungle. And with that being said, let me blend this side out. So, with that being said, our fear should adjust, right? Just like generally speaking, our surroundings and our environment have slightly, right? Don't get me wrong, we're still definitely prey. Let's be honest. That much has not changed. We are definitely still prey in this society, especially if you are a black or brown person. We are literally preyed upon and fed off of. You cannot change my mind about that. With that being said, there are ways that our fear hinders us in this society, and I truly believe not just fear, there's a whole bigger picture to this, but I think that the truths that we have been given are not necessarily um, truths. I think that's like the best way I can put that. Oh, that's a freaking workout. Okay. How fear hinders us in this world is, I believe, it keeps us from seeking and getting to truth. Sometimes we're too afraid to go against what we are sold. So, with religion, we are so afraid of going against, uh, I wouldn't even say the status quo. Yeah, the status quo, that it causes us to become afraid of seeking. And in the King James Bible, it literally says, seek and you shall find. How can you seek if you're too afraid to leave your home? And home, where I say is, I'm not even going to say home, I'm going to say your building, your space. If you can only find peace in one place, one space, how are you able to seek? By the way, it's not going to take very long because it don't take me very long. If you're afraid of seeking, how are you going to know that the truth your soul is the truth? If you are afraid of finding out, how will you get what's meant for you along the journey? So that's kind of like a general idea of or a general example of what I mean. Actualizing your fears releases you from them, right? So when you face something or are charged to conquer something, there, I'm sure, is fear involved. I'm completely out of this, y'all, but goaded. Okay, let me tell you, it do what it say it's gonna do. I'm gonna figure out how to make my own version of it. I'll let you know if it works. Actualizing your fears looks like doing the thing that you're afraid of. And I found in my life, let it dry a little bit, a lot of times this happens in an interesting way, because a lot of times I'm so afraid of releasing the plan and control of the way out and surrendering, that sometimes it feels like it's just happening. Like in the past, I felt blindsided, but it's only because I wasn't listening. You know, I was praying for one thing, but not preparing for it. So, for example, I would be in a space or a certain energy or something. Oops, I forgot my spray. And I would be feeling a certain way, and I'd be like, God, I want release from this energy, from this feeling. It's not, it doesn't feel good in the space I'm in, right? And then God's like preparing, making a way, and I would get so comfortable in the space. Just the type of person I am, I'm solution driven. So I just make the best of things. And so sometimes with me making the best of things, it was really me just like making a pallet in prison, me getting comfortable with myself. And so I would pray and I would say, God, like, release me from this. Like, it don't feel good. And then the release comes, but it doesn't look like how I expect it to. So I'm like, God, why is this happening to me? And then my spirit reminds me, you prayed for it. You asked, and I've answered. And speaking of asking, there'd be so many times where I've asked for something or asked about something years ago. I won't even say, well, yeah, I'll say ask for something. Because usually my prayers that manifest and actualize are the ones that I'm consistently praying, right? The ones that throughout the years, it's the same prayer, right? So like if it's financial freedom, if it is education, it is if it's traveling, whatever the prayer is, I usually pray it for quite some time, which is why I'm able to get comfortable in the cell. You feel me? You following me? In that comfort, it's kind of like I start reasoning with the situation. I'm like, well, this is better than, XYZ. Because if I did have my wish, I would have to sustain it. Kind of like Stockholm syndrome, just really getting comfortable in like something that I didn't ask for, or somewhere that I'm not meant to just like sit and be. You feel me? So it comes, right? And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Tower moment kind of energy. And I'm like, oh, and then my spirit's like, oh yeah, you pray for this. You ask for this. Here's the release that you prayed and asked for. Here's your chariot, right? It's here. And I'm like, okay, y'all kind of came up in here guns blazing. I'm a little nervous. Okay, forgive me. Um, but lo and behold, at the end of the day, prayer answered. Okay, at the end of the day, it always leads to wish fulfillment. Okay, so with that being said, the fear would tell me not to answer the door when your chariot has arrived, right? The fear would tell me not to jump out of the tower, even though I see it burning and I see it collapsing and coming down. Because even though I was locked and trapped in this tower, how much worse will it and can it get outside of the tower, right? Maybe the tower was protection. Again, rationalizing the situation. Fear would tell me, um, you don't know who's on the other side of that door based on the situations and circumstances that you've gone through. Don't answer it, okay? Fear would tell me that even though it is the chariot that I prayed for, it could be a trick. What if I'm not worthy? Fear would tell me, what if this chariot is actually taking you to hell? Fear would tell me, right, just like all these negative things. And again, in a world where we were learning the world, it would be like, it makes sense that we need that protection. But remember, this is the concrete jungle and we're now in a spiritual warfare. So we can't just go by what we see, okay? And then be like, okay, God, that's what it is. This is what I see, so this is what it is, right? And God's like, you forget this is not a physical war, it's a spiritual war. So sometimes what you see is and can be wrong, okay? So the chariot comes and you're riding and it's bumpy and you're like, child, what the fuck? And you're questioning your decisions and you're like, God, what the hell is happening here? What the helly type energy, right? But then you're like, oh my God, looking out the window. When you remind yourself, breathe, relax, everything's okay. You're looking out the window and you're like, wow, it's actually really pretty here. Like, how crazy. And God's like, yeah, I know it's pretty. I made this shit. Okay, I will need a mirror for this next part. My arm is hurting. Ooh, fucking workout, child. Ugh. I haven't done a fun look in a while. So let's do some shadow. Anyways, so you're sitting there, barbecue sauce on your titties. This is just a little Juvia's palette, and I'm just putting a little brown to warm back up my creases. Curious to me, yeah. Yep, that's me. Okay, let's get back on topic here. Chariot on the way to your destination. The ride gets bumpy. You see shit that people told you don't exist and is not real. You're questioning your reality. And the whole time, Spirit's like, you're okay. You're okay. I got you. You're okay. You're okay. We got you. And you're like, yeah, you keep saying that, but I'm the one on this chariot, okay? Y'all got to keep cleaning my freaking eye because for some reason it has just decided it want to leak today, which is very annoying. But anyway, so when you surrender on the ride and you sit back, you're like, wow, this is actually really beautiful. It's not that crazy. It's not that crazy, right? That's how reclaiming or actualizing your fears, right? Opening the door, getting on the chariot, taking that leap of faith, jumping, releases you from them. Now you can't be afraid of chariots. You've been on one. Now you can't be afraid of what's on the other side of destiny or that door that you asked God to open, because now you've done it. Do you feel me? Are you following what I'm saying? Are you picking up what I'm putting down, child? That's my take on that. I want to leave it like that, but it's going to give raccoon. So I'm going to sharpen it a little bit. I don't know what I just did there. This turned more vampy than I thought it was, but I love it. Okay, is it giving Queen of the Dead? Because that's what I was going for. And then I want some purple. I want some purple. Let's add some more blush first. Bring some of that color back. Ooh, too much color. Okay. Yeah, let's try this brown. I like it. I like it a lot. Period. Okay. Oh, my hands hurt. That's purple pen that I've had for a while. Cool. Now, I'm going to spray my face again. Do some lip liner. Let's see. This is random Mary Kay and Ashley liner I just found in here. Look how ashy it made my freaking lips. Okay. Do a little bit pink on the inside. This works better when your lips aren't dry. Cool. The next thing I'm going to do is, yeah, it'll do. I don't want to close my eye off, so I'm only going to line like the back end. I don't even think I want to do mascara for this look. We'll see. I kind of like it giving a baby doe-esque type vibe. Let's do my brows and see. Oh, wait, before I do my brows, I'm going to go in with this Fenty Beauty bronzer. And outline that contour again. And it looks really pale and ashy now, but it's gonna warm up. Okay. Okay. So another example of actualizing your fears looks like hearing, how are you gonna get into law school? You barely got through college, yada yada. But you know you've built yourself up, gotten the stamina, done the work on yourself, learned from your past mistakes, and you ready. Fear would tell you don't apply because what if you don't get accepted? What if, I don't know, honestly, fear makes up the craziest shit. It goes beyond getting accepted. Depends on like your level of fear and anxiety, but sometimes it can even just be like crazy, just outrageous shit. But point being, the worst that they can say is no. And honestly, I learned this from my therapist. Like, there's no debtor's jail, okay? Like, we're adults here. We should be able to make decisions that feel best for us without it feeling like a crime just because it doesn't look like the rest of the world, okay? I don't like that. I don't like that at all. We do need mascara after I added this purple. So, yeah, y'all. Reclaiming your fear could look like maybe you had a not so good experience with your last vehicle or the last car lot you got your vehicle from. It's been years now and you're ready for a new vehicle and to invest in one. You've prayed and done the work and yada yada blah blah blah. Fear would tell you, nah, go do this smaller, lesser version of it because if you try too hard and fail, it's going to be embarrassing. So why not try it all, right? It's that energy of booing yourself off the stage before anybody gets to see you perform. And I feel like as black and brown people, we're so used to fighting 3 times as hard to get half as much. So sometimes it can just feel like fighting for crumb scraps. But your purpose is bigger than that. Maybe it's not about winning the fight. Maybe it's about someone else seeing you get in the ring. Right. Do that another round of blush though. And that's on her. So, all in all, this message to say, if fear is telling you not to get in the freaking ring, tell fear it can kiss your ass. And that fear only keeps you safe from every dream you've ever had. Like, fear would tell me not to do that because what if I messed up my whole look? It's too late. Like, I don't want to do one up here and up here. Is that crazy? It's so cute. I love it. I want one right here now. I'm obsessed. I love it. I think we're done here. Oh, watch out for the little deers. Y'all know that Don Tolliver song? Ooh. I have this one too. It's really pretty. I like it. It's a little mask. Okay. Last but not least, I just need earrings. I might put bangles on. That is my TED talk, y'all. It's hot as fuck in this bathroom, so I gotta get out of here. Go put my clothes and whatnot on. Thank you so much for joining me for this studying with ice session. I hope that something landed with you from this. I hope I was making sense because it was a little bit all over the place. Is my makeup look. So, yeah, I'm going to finish getting dressed. I love you very much. Thank you for joining me for this. Again, I hope something landed. We're going to go figure out if we're doing gloss or not. And I will see you again in another one. Bye.